I find Jason Nash to be one of the most terrifying creators on all of YouTube, TikTok, anywhere. Not just because of his physical appearance, but mostly because I don't know if you could find somebody who's been in the industry longer, had more opportunities, and has less financial stability than this guy. I just don't understand how he did not have the foresight to put more of that David Dobrik money away for later. And so he was recently on a podcast with Josh Peck of Drake and Josh fame, where he explains how it's totally not pathetic and degrading to do what he does. And Josh kind of tries to push him to maybe try something else, but he's not really that interested in it. He's not persuaded, from what I can tell.
You've been on an incredible health and fitness journey.
Yeah.
You look better than ever, but you mentioned maybe you put on a couple.
Yeah. I've put on a lot.
And so they chit-chatted a little bit before this, but basically it just starts off with like, so, you used to be healthy, but you're kind of like fat and disgusting now, right, Jason? And he is like, yeah, kind of, more or less.
I lost it, and then
Wait,
I
do
found
it again, but make it sadder.
I don't know what to say.
And then it's so lame of Josh to be like, oh, make it sadder. Do it again, make it sadder. The way he asked the question, he clearly knew already Jason had told him his health was not where he wanted it to be. But Josh brings it up anyway. And then he's like, oh, why are you being so sad about it? Like, fuck you. You knew. You knew that this was not going to be a happy-go-lucky topic for me.
I don't know what to say, man. You can't. I worked out for like 2 years straight. I got in the best shape of my life, and then I stopped. And then, you stop and you're like, damn, it just comes right back. It's awful.
And is it, what's your regimen right now, workout wise?
I mean, I like walk a little bit. I went to yoga this morning.
Nice.
I mean, I barely do anything.
And why is that?
Because I'm
Just giggling at him straight up.
live streaming like 8 hours a day. So it's like
And that's just what a regular person with a job does. As far as I'm aware, there are people with jobs that also work out. I could be wrong about that, but I'm almost at the very least, I've at least heard people say it. Maybe they're lying, but
get up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I can like save my house and live stream, or I can go work out.
he says save his house. It's a very dire word to use. Save? Is the bank coming for you? Jeez.
And so, but today I was like, Naveen was like, you should go work out because I hurt my back, and if I don't upkeep it, then everything goes wrong.
And what are you doing on the live stream?
I do TikTok live, so I do like live battles and like talk to people and talk about current events and in order to make
What a horrible list. What?
I do TikTok live, so I do like live battles and like talk to people and talk.
Live battles. It's just isn't all of this just talking about current events is the next one he says. So it's just hopefully you like Jason Nash. It sounds like that's all it is, just him meandering through whatever he's got going on
about current events and in order to like get into ranks and in order to be highly ranked there, you have to put in a lot of hours.
And you couldn't do that. I'm just thinking like you couldn't do that like from the bike or like from a run or from a hike. You could, right?
A HIIT workout.
You can.
Pilates, swimming.
The Wi-Fi in Runyon Canyon isn't the best. You get cut out. I guess you could be on a bike, but I don't want to just be on a bike like not talking to them.
If you're doing it for 8 hours a day anyway, you can't possibly have something worth a damn to say that entire time. There's just no way. Nobody has that in them. So what? You can't for half an hour of your 8-hour stream ride the bike, so you can see his hairy, soft gut here through the buttonhole, through the hole in his shirt, between the buttons.
It's just hard. It's hard to.
Weightlifting sesh, a low impact weightlift sesh.
Yeah, you could do that.
12-pound dumbbells.
You could do that. I mean, I don't know. If I'm not like engaged with them, then I don't feel like I'm doing anything. You know. And then there's no viewer.
Are his live streams possibly that engaging? From what I've seen, they're not. It's just thanks for the cowboy hats and all that sort of stuff.
Viewership if you're just like working out.
Tell me more about the streaming. Why? Obviously, the TikTok thing is lucrative. Why not do Twitch? Why not stream games if you're in that world?
The algorithm on TikTok is the best. So it's like you're commingling with people of all ages. People.
That's the first thing he says. You're commingling with people of all ages. That's the first thing he likes about the TikTok algorithm. And also, I'm pretty sure Twitch and TikTok would both have similar demographics, or they would lean younger, but I don't know. And I would think TikTok would even probably be younger than Twitch. So that would be worse from getting a money perspective.
People my age, even in my live. And on Twitch, I don't feel as if that algorithm is as good. And I've heard people are not making money on Twitch.
Yeah, and so it sounds like he hasn't even tried. Somebody just told him it's not good. And it seems like it's not good. So he's just going to keep begging on TikTok Live. And I mean, you could argue that everybody online to some degree is just begging for money, but I mean, he is very much on the one end of the spectrum more than the vast majority of people.
Heard all those big deals went away because I remember when I got into live streaming and I was doing good at it, I called some people and I was like, "Oh, can I like do something on Twitch too?" And they were like, "No. It's just like not." It's
You
just
asked for permission,
and a lot of the streamers lost their deals, and I think Twitch is in trouble. That's what I hear.
Can you still get paid to play video games? Like, you ever think about just playing COD for 10 hours and being...
Is this a 72-year-old man?
You ever think about just playing COD for 10 hours and being... think about just playing COD for 10 hours?
That's what I hear.
Can you still get paid to play video games? Like, you ever think about just playing COD?
Can you still get paid to play video games? I didn't even think my grandpa would ask me that. Like, he's aware that people make money playing video games. How high up in the Hollywood Hills are you these days, Josh? Jeez.
For 10 hours and being funny?
You could. I don't know how to play video games, and I don't have the setup. I need like a...
Doesn't know how to play video games, doesn't have the setup. These are the tiniest obstacles ever. If you don't want to do it, just say you don't want to do it. I can't be bothered. This is super low effort. I can just turn on live on my phone and hold it there.
I need somebody to like hook it up for me.
Someone to come in and do it.
Yeah. I mean, do you know how to set that up? Do you know how to use OBS?
I've had the new iPhone 15 for 6 months. I've been afraid to switch over to it. I'm like, I don't know if the cloud's got everything. I get scared.
Okay, yeah, he is like 73 and just so out of touch. What the hell?
How are you? Ben doesn't seem overly techy, right?
No, I've set up the iPhone that you gave me. Josh gave me an iPhone 15. I set it up.
Yeah, that's good.
Shout out.
I use it as a second phone. iPhone.
It's not that hard to set up an iPhone.
All right, you guys are jerks.
Not that hard to set up OBS.
Not
You guys are total jerks.
English or Spanish? English.
My wife is very techie. She set up this entire podcast studio, remote studio.
Yeah. So no, this guy's like, my wife set up this entire podcast studio and you can't set up video games and OBS? I don't even think that's what he was going for, but he basically roasted Jason for that. It's like, really, like, I mean, you don't even, it's literally, you just need OBS and then you start playing video games and you record. There's like the tiniest bit more to it than that. And one YouTube video will walk you through it.
Herself.
That's
the whole
great.
thing.
Can I ask this?
Yeah,
Like,
Flavortown.
are you ever frustrated with like when I watch the TikTok lives, the thing that I get bummed out about, whether it's when I see people who I'm like a big fan of, like you or Jonah,
right?
It's that
you're a big fan of Jason Nash.
It seems that to make money, there is a limited sort of access point, which is the battles, right?
Right.
And it's kind of the, rallying the people watching you to kind of support and to drop tokens or whatever the things are. And to me,
I mean, I could definitely be wrong. I'm never on TikTok, but I would guess there are a lot more genres that people make money in besides TikTok battles. I can't imagine that's the only thing that people are getting paid for on TikTok. I would think there's a million genres you could get paid for.
Like, I would rather, but who am I? I'd rather watch you do an improv with Brandon or someone for 30 minutes and pay for that.
Right.
Instead of like 30 minutes of just rallying the troops.
Right. And
what do you think of that?
I think that's a great question. Sure. I would love to say and improvise with Brandon.
If you ever hear somebody say, I think that's a great question on podcasts, what they really want to say is, fuck you, fuck this topic. Let's move on.
For 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no one's gonna, that's not gonna put my son through Columbia.
No. I understand you're doing the best way to make money, but why is it like, what's compelling about?
So here's what it is. So let's say you like me. Let's say you're like, I like Jason. He's fun, good energy. I like what he's about. So then there's a group of people that are on my team. They're playing for a team. So it's like, let's say I were to battle you, right?
Yeah.
You would have people on your team that want to throw the coin at the right time. You're playing a game. That's all you're doing. You're playing a game. So there's a lot of people that there's power-ups that you get. There's different rewards that you get. And so the people are
trying so hard to say something more than it's giving me money. That's all it is. You just donate different emojis and they're worth like different dollar amounts and points, and whoever has the most points at the end of the time limit wins the battle. That's all it's a donation off, a beg off. That is genuinely what it is. And he is really struggling to make it sound like more than that.
just playing a game. That's all it is. And so there's moments where you're battling, and a lot of it is battling because that's what people want to do. That's the people that are there. They're there to do that. And yeah, that's really all it is.
Got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So you're like a conduit for the game.
Yep, exactly. They're playing for Nash Nation. They're there to see how far they can take their team. And then when you win, when you lose, people are like, God damn, how'd we lose that? Da, 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 da. And then when you win, everyone's like, yeah, let's go.
And do you ever tell the people watching you, you know what the best nation is? A donation. Because that's what my friends who break dance on the Venice Boardwalk say.
That's a great line. Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
another thing, you can tell people think it's a great line when they don't laugh and they say that's a great line.
Look, it's something that I'm like, you know, I wrestle with it all the time. I'm like, but right now it's like, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get I sold a TV show and I'm trying to get it made, but you know, it's not a lot of money.
What's it about?
I mean, who's going to pay any amount of money for a Jason Nash show? Like, this is probably going to be on some third-rate streaming. It's going to be like on Peacock or whatever, at best.
It's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm. And
Cool.
we're making 10 episodes of it. And it's just like we're supposed to shoot soon. And, you know, and then, you know, David, he quit the podcast. Right. So I was like, all right, that's out. That was a huge moneymaker.
Was that like, did you guys have a $20 million?
He's very bitter about this podcast thing not existing anymore.
Offer from Spotify?
Yeah. Every year, Josh.
Say more.
Every year in January.
Put your belly away.
Spotify. What a wonderful company. We love Spotify. You know, they are a great company. They've been really nice to me, actually.
Best.
Separate from David, like with my podcast.
Yeah, they gave me tickets to the Zach Bryan concert.
Yeah, sure. Spotify's great. And they love podcasters. They would come every year and they would offer a large sum of money in the millions.
20?
Yeah, 1 year.
Wow.
Yeah. every year. And then the agent would say,
what's he doing?
no, don't take it this year. Don't take it this year. We'll wait. It'll get bigger. You know, like it'll be eventually whatever Rogan got, you know, or maybe half of what Rogan got.
Yikes.
That was the idea. And then every year I would be like, guys, are you sure? Are you sure? Sure you just don't want to, and
Jason's like,
too bad you're a glorified extra and you don't really have any pull.
we'll take it.
Yeah, and Dave, yeah, I did say that. And Dave, God bless his heart, is not about money at all. Dave will go live in
You don't get a channel as big as David and that be true, that you don't care about money. Because people who don't care about money would be like, oh, you know what? I got a good thing going. I'm not going to go so balls to the walls with it. I'm just going to keep it this nice, chill, fun thing that still makes pretty solid money. But no, he went the, Mr. Beast route, the optimization route.
Go be a teacher in Vernon Hills. You know, he's just not, he just doesn't care. You know, and I think if he did, he would have kept doing it. He's just not like that. But he doesn't.
Or maybe he just doesn't want to do a podcast with you. Maybe that's not worth it, especially for his cut of 20 million. I don't think that would be all that much to him. You know, not that it would be nothing to him, but I don't think it's gonna really sway him all that much. And it sounds like you got that 20 million offered like one time, so wasn't even really all that much most of the time.
Doesn't have a family to support either.
Right.
So that's the tough thing. It's like he doesn't have 2 kids. He doesn't have a kid going to an Ivy League school.
Which I give you.
He says that as if that's a thing that you would have to do. Ugh. Isn't that one of the hardest parts of being a parent, is that you have to send them to an Ivy League school?
So much credit for.
Thank you.
You don't talk about that a lot.
Sure.
Your kids are amazing. You're a really great dad. Your son Wyatt got into an incredible Ivy League school. Not cheap, I hear.
I mean, maybe he's a great dad in every other way, but if my dad went on TikTok Live and embarrassed himself every day for 8 hours a day, I don't know if I could call him a great dad. I would at the very least bump him down to just good dad.
Here. And you work so hard and do these things only to be able to support that, which is what else is there in life than to support your kids?
Yeah, I mean that's all I care about. Yeah. At the end of the day, that's all I care about. And people come into my live all the time and they're like, they'll ask me questions they'll start really hot. They'll be like, your kids hate you. Your kids aren't proud of you. And I'll be like, no, my kids are proud of me. I'm doing this for my kids. And they'll be like,
why would you seriously engage? Somebody just comes into your TikTok live stream and says, oh, your kids don't like you. Your kids think you suck. And you're like, excuse me, dear chatter, sir. Actually, that's not accurate. My children actually love me. Just ignore that. That's a perfect example of a comment you should just fucking ignore.
See, okay, respect the grind, and so you do win people over, and generally that live is pretty positive. And when people, the other sick thing, Josh, is when, and Ben, is when, this is really sick.
Great.
When things get bad, when somebody comes after me, and I won't say any names, but when people come after me about the live only gets bigger.
Right.
So it's that first thing of you see what someone said about you, you're like, oh, that bums me out. I really like that person. So then that bums you out for a couple hours, but then you go on the live and you're like, oh my God, I have 3 times the people watching me today, And so it's.
And he was not it's just so just stretched, straining the buttons all the way up.
Such a sick
it's very
business.
distracting.
Ben, what do you think? Because Ben's a great entrepreneur and businessman and has a lot of savvy in that area.
Obviously, he's in the Hamptons and we're here.
He's crushing. He's in shorts, wearing full pants. What do you think about that Spotify offer?
I think that if you're betting on yourself as an agent, you want to keep waiting for it to go up. I think that as a person, I mean, if it was me, I'd take $20 million a year. That's sick. But maybe it wasn't market, right? Maybe the agent saw the amount of views that, and just for everybody that isn't familiar with David, I'm sure that everybody in yours and Jason's world, but maybe our core following, we're talking about David Dobrik, and we're talking about an offer from a podcast that Jason, you and David did together. And David's audience was absolutely enormous. Like $20 million might not have been anything at the time for David's audience. Like David's audience at his peak.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like I would watch Vlog Squad. Like that sounds super cheap.
It was higher than that then.
For like the actual reach that he was getting.
How about 30?
It was higher. It was above 30?
Yeah.
For 1 year.
That fucking sucks.
I don't know if it was for a year or for...
I don't know. I've seen clips of him bringing this up multiple times, and if I was David, I'd be just so annoyed. This would be like exactly the type of reason I wouldn't want to do the show with him, because it just sounds like it was purely money to him. You know, like that's not gonna be a cool special show if I'm doing it with somebody who just straight up wants to do it for the money. Like, what did you want to do with the show? If you could say stuff here that you really wanted to do with the show, then maybe he would have been more willing to do the show with you. But it sounds like you were just totally content to hang around.
It might have been for over 5 or something.
If you don't mind me asking, what were you getting off that 30?
30%.
Oh, kill
That's
me.
Nice. That's nice.
We had a manager that got 15%. So I was only making a little bit more than him. And he wasn't doing anything. And I think
Yeah, because you were doing so much, Jason. You're just being like the token old guy. I mean, I've barely even seen any of the content, but that's how it looked to me.
Did a lot. I think I did a lot on the podcast. Like, I actually do think I would like try really hard and try to come up with things and just get.
Try to come up with things. I mean, could you be more vague? You didn't give a shit about this. I don't believe it. You wanted the money, and that was it. That's the only part I believe you on here.
Getting him to do it was a chore. Oof. And not to say that I don't love him, and I saw him on Saturday, and he's the funniest. He's the best. Like, he's been so.
That was convincing.
He's the funniest. He's the best. Like, he's been so good to me. He gave me my career, and do want to say that. So I'm just like.
Just the least enthusiasm ever in that. Super believable. Yeah, he gave me everything. He gave me my career, and I love him more than life itself. Like, who do you think's gonna believe that when you deliver it that way?
Joking around here, but yeah, I mean, that's what happens. Fucking, and that's the other thing is like TikTok Live. It's like it's a stop for me right now. Like, I'm not done. Like, I'm doing things. Like, I'm trying.
There's nothing
like he's doing things
to defend.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I think that the nature of this thing, and in general, people don't understand sort of the ebb and flow of like long careers. Chris Rock has a great joke about how I only respect time in this business, and like if you've been in the business for 10 years, I like you, 20 years, I love you, and 30 years, I really respect you.
Yeah.
But it's just about
not even a joke. Sounds like that's just a thing that he said.
Keeping your head above water. And if you
that's right.
Like the stock market, if you zoom into any particular day, the market could be down 1,200 points.
Yeah.
But overall, it trends up. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's kind of all you can.
Yeah, but the thing is, to be invested in the stock market, you didn't have to humiliate yourself every day. So that's one of the more significant differences.
Can hope for.
You're not down 1,200 points.
No, I am. I'm down more than that. I'm down 30 million is what I'm down.
Ben, take us home.
He really sounds bitter. I'm down 30 million. No, you were down 30% of 30 million. So, less than 10 million you're looking at, plus taxes on that are going to be nuts. So you lose at least half of that there. So less than 5 million.
And folks, that's our show. As always, rate us 5 stars. Watch Jason's lives. They sound amazing. I know I'm going to hop on TikTok.
Does anybody believe that?
and I'm going to watch his lives.
Thank you, Ben.
And when he comes out with his beautiful Curb Your Enthusiasm 10-episode series, we're going to be streaming it like mad. 5 stars. Otherwise, what are you nuts? Listen to us on Apple, Spotify.
So, yeah, very sad, very disturbing to delve into the world of Jason Nash and see how low he is currently sank. This guy really has been around for so long. I realized I actually knew about this guy years and years ago because he was on a defunct radio show called Ron and Fez in 2014, and he makes one of the hosts cry. He's a terrible, terrible, evil person. Not really. The host is a baby that he makes cry. But even in that podcast, he's just talking about what a loser he is. And I can't even remember who he was latched on to at that point in time, but it was some other person that he was getting all of his moderate, middling success from. So I don't know. I don't feel bad for the guy at all. He says that the TikTok thing is just his current step in the journey. But from what I've seen, he seems way too content to keep doing that. And he makes it seem like doing 8 hours of that a day gives him no time to work out. So how does it give you time to work on any other projects and raise your family? I don't know. I think he's just a lazy bum who's hoping for another free ride to come around.